Oh look guys, it's an official Pokemon NFT game. Wait, no, it's not. What's up fam, this is Legato from Omega Alpha, and today we're going to talk about a Pokemon scam NFT, other projects and how they relate to IP rights, and also a few upcoming NFT projects that are actually doing the IP thing right. As always, I am not a financial advisor. Anything I say in this video is not financial advice. I literally trade pictures of random things online in hopes of them being worth money someday. Don't listen to anything that I say. So let's get right into it and start with Pokeworld and why you should avoid it. Pokeworld NFT is supposedly a P2E NFT collection licensed by Pokemon. It's been making its rounds recently, and some legitimate projects have actually already collaborated with it. If you scroll down their Twitter, you'll actually see right here, brought to you by Codiota and the Pokemon Company International. I hate to break it to you, but that is not the case. Let's rewind this a little bit and let me break it down in case you don't already know how this works. If me, your neighbor, and your wife's boyfriend all decide to get together and hang out in the basement and create an NFT project that involves Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Link from Zelda, guess what? You can't do that. Just because it's digital or on the blockchain, it's still an intellectual copyright and is owned by someone else. If you're familiar with NFTs, you may have seen other things like Rugrats, Hey Arnold, and other Nickelodeon branded NFTs. That's a good example of a Web3 platform, Recur, getting permission to use Nickelodeon's IPs. It's perfectly allowed. A few months ago, I remember there being a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles project, which, admittedly, I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it wasn't licensed. The Discord came out, it was on Twitter, everybody was all excited about it. They tried to spin it that it was specifically the rights for the 1980 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game and assets, so it was okay for them to do it. I mean, obviously Viacom would be totally okay with them using that, right? No. And that's why it got taken down. The same thing happened with the Smurfs NFT not that long ago. There's a lot of red tape involved if you're trying to use assets owned by someone else. Speaking of assets owned by someone else, let's get back to Pokeworld. Look at this Pikachu. It has no idea that it's being pirated right now. If you look at their website and scroll down, you'll see that this is supposedly brought to you by Codiota. And on the Codiota website, they describe themselves as one of the Pokemon Company's list of contractor partners, which handles the full range of animation and game environment development. I like how at the bottom of the webpage it highlights that they were involved in Pokemon Sleep. That never came out. Is it possible that this company has had interaction with Pokemon? Maybe. They claim they were involved with animation and in-game design on a couple Pokemon licensed projects. It's totally possible. However, here's the problem. There was actually an official Pokemon announcement about this, where it specifically says that NFTs are not part of the Pokemon brand strategy at this moment. I won't read the whole announcement for you here, you can just hit pause and read it yourself, but they literally say any cryptocurrency or NFTs using Pokemon intellectual property are unofficial and not in any way affiliated with the Pokemon brand. It actually kind of reminds me of those bootleg mobile games or browser-based games if you've ever seen them, where the advertisement looks like it might be really cool, but then the game itself is totally different than the advertisement. I hate that. If you've watched this channel before, you know that I always say how important it is to do your own research, and I try to share with you what I do so you can make your own decisions. This is a great example of that. You know what's really fun? Using Google reverse image search to find scammers. Check this out. On the Pokeworld website, you'll see these pictures in the middle of different potions: purple, red, yellow, blue, and green. Now, I'm a big nerd. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, RPGs, any game I can get into, and when I saw these, they instantly look like something that would be an asset online to another game, right? So I used Google reverse image search just to see what I would find. See this orange potion right here? This is right off the Pokeworld website. Huh, it looks like there's an artist on ArtStation that used this exact bottle. Wait a second, it looks like they just photoshopped off the leather straps and moved it a little bit. Nah, it must be a coincidence. I'm sure there's no way I can find another one. Oh hey, this blue potion looks pretty cool. I'm sure it is 100% legit. Oh, wait a second. Huh. 3 years ago, another artist on ArtStation drew these 4 assets as part of an RPG game. These two sure look pretty similar. Nah. Crazy, right? Literally stolen art on the website. In the future, just remember, you can do the same thing I just did. Sometimes the reverse image search can really come in handy. An ETH project tried to launch on Sol 3 months ago and failed, but doesn't tell anybody, but you can dig it up. Fun times. So needless to say, unless Pokemon suddenly comes out with an announcement stating that this is legit or that they are releasing an NFT project, stay away from Pokeworld. So if you want to whitelist somewhere for this, sorry, I wouldn't touch it. Like I said originally, you have to get permission to use an IP in your NFT project, or really for anything. I want to bring up 2 upcoming NFT projects that mint soon, just so you can see how you can use IPs properly, and not be illegal. Full disclosure, Omega Alpha did receive whitelists for both of these projects, and my team is affiliated with one of them. So as always, do your own research before you spend your hard-earned monopoly on anything. First up is Virtua Metaverse. Virtua has actually been around since 2017, which in the Web3 space is like 30 years ago. They have their own token, which is currently being traded on KuCoin, Binance, and other exchanges. They have some big connections, it's backed by some big money investors, and as you can imagine, because of the topic of this video, the right to use intellectual property, to have digital collectibles in their metaverse for IPs such as Top Gun, Godfather, and more. They have an agreement with Legendary Entertainment so they can use IPs such as Pacific Rim and Godzilla vs. Kong throughout their whole metaverse. Virtua sponsors the Williams Brother F1 car so they can use that branding, and as you can imagine, it's pretty difficult to get the permission from all these companies to use those IPs. I'm not a car person, but they also have Shelby Mustangs available, which is pretty cool. As far as their upcoming land sale, I'm looking forward to see how it's going to go. One of the big trends right now is NFT projects that have VC backing or connections to established brands. Their team's pretty stacked with connections to THQ, Disney, EA Sports, Age of Empires, Warner Brothers. As far as that meta, it does check all the boxes, so I'm going to keep an eye on it. As a side note, validating tokenized assets is actually a pretty big deal. Think about it. As more and more people, businesses, and governments use digital assets based on the blockchain, there's going to be a need for some sort of validation. If you're in the US, think of something like the Better Business Bureau, but focused on the legitimacy of your blockchain assets. An example of a Web3 company that does this is Eureka. If it's music, National Copyright Registry, artists, there's definitely a need to have some form of confirmation that your blockchain-based assets are legitimate. Before Web3, I had an eBay business. It focused on a lot of different things, but one thing that I did really well with was sneakers. If you're familiar with sneakers on eBay, now they actually have a authentication service. So this way you know that you're protected. If you buy some rare Nike Retro Jordan on eBay, they actually certify that it's legit before it's sent to you. Eureka just recently partnered with Known Origin, which is the NFT marketplace that was recently acquired by eBay. If you think about it like that, it makes sense. There's a lot of opportunity in Web3, but honestly, that's a topic for another video. Let's get back on track. The next project I'm going to mention takes this whole topic of IPs and kind of goes the polar opposite. Instead of focusing on IPs where rights are needed to use the assets, they're going the CC0 route, which is pretty much public domain, so no permission is needed. Omega Alpha did an AMA with one of the founders recently, so let me just play you a quick clip or 2 of that. It'll explain it better than I can.
FAEBL stands for Free All Eternally Beloved Lore. We're reimagining iconic public domain characters as Fable fighters, and now we chose these characters from different nostalgic books, cartoons, and movies that most of us really grew up on. So Winnie the Pooh, Cheshire Cat, Tinkerbell, Pinocchio, King Kong, Little Red Riding Hood, and Robin Hood. And essentially, in terms of the story, you join the resistance by owning one of the 7 Fable fighters, and you'll help fight the battle against the evil Walt Disney, who's the character that we created that's been holding, Mickey Mouse captive, along with the other characters that have yet to enter public domain. And really what that means is in 2024, Mickey Mouse, the first iteration, Steamboat Willie, actually enters public domain. And this is a pretty big cultural moment that at least we believe, because it's the first time in history in which, Disney's beloved character, or the mouse that all of us knew and know and grow up on, now for the first time people will be able to use it, whether they want to use it for marketing their own business or making clothes or whatever. Like it's a true source of freedom to kind of take this IP that has been just so loved throughout the world, and now people are able to do whatever they want with it. And the reason that I think it's so interesting is because Disney is actually notorious for pushing back legislation. They've pushed back and changed laws twice now, and they're actually the reason why copyright law is actually 95 years. And so when Steamboat Willie went into public domain in 1928, it's been 94 years. And given it is such a tricky and confusing topic as well, being copyright, I think a lot of people just don't know and aren't aware of like what that means and what public domain is. I think a lot of us here in the space are familiar due to CC0, but CC0 and public domain are actually the exact same thing. So ultimately, again, we want people to kind of see this project as kind of just like an example for what public domain can do. Ultimately, the difference between our project and others is that we're not building any new IP.
It's a pretty unique idea, and it's a free mint, so honestly, it's pretty low risk. By the time this video hits YouTube, FAEBL will probably be minting like the next day. So I'm real curious to see how it goes. If you enjoyed this video and got something out of it, please hit that like and subscribe button below. Actually, even if you didn't enjoy it, you should definitely hit that like and subscribe button anyway. But seriously, if you're looking for consistent NFT content, you're in the right place. If you have a suggestion about a topic for a YouTube video that you think would be really cool, definitely leave it in the comments below or come join our Discord and hit us up. All Omega Alpha related links are in the description below. Thanks for hanging out. See you in the next one.